Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm the host of the No BS Coaching Advice podcast here on Anchor.fm. If you've always wanted to start a podcast, Anchor makes it ridiculously easy to do it. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's completely free and ridiculously easy to use. I know I've used two other services. One was very expensive, like $700 a month expensive, until I realized I was getting hosed, and now it costs me much less, but it still costs me. Another service that's inexpensive, but it still costs me. Again, it's 100% free. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. I do no BS coaching advice here, and it is a breeze. I can record on my laptop. I can record live off my phone. Again, very, very easy to use. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. This is the No BS Coaching Advice Podcast, episode 124. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome. I'm sorry I'm out a day later than I normally do, but the fact of the matter is, yesterday was booked solid, plus I had to take in a car for service. My wife is away for a few days, finishing up a festival she's attending, and result wound up being I couldn't get the show out yesterday. Just wasn't time for it. And today I'm going to talk with you about a couple of different things that just come to mind. And the first one is those situations where you want someone to, put in the workforce context. You want to change careers in some way, shape, or form. You want to do something different than what you're doing. And basically you're not quite sure what to do, which is a pretty common scenario for people. But then you have some ideas of things that you'd like to do. And you want someone to hire you or to transfer you or to put you in that kind of situation where you're doing the new role, or where you can do a new role, I should say. And my thought is, frankly, you've got to actually do the thing that you want to be doing. You can do it part-time on the side. You can do something else. But to expect someone to give you the shot because you want it, it's not going to happen all that often. Then you get frustrated. Then you become demoralized. And then you start tuning out your work when, in fact, you can always do something on the side that allows you to get that experience and see if it actually is something that you want to do. Don't point fingers at other people for why you don't have the opportunity, because frankly, most of us don't give people that kind of a chance because we risk our own failure by doing so. Instead, find a way you can actually do the thing that you want to be doing so that this way you can demonstrate to folks that you can and you really want to. A friend of mine offered a very funny analogy, or at least I thought it was a funny analogy, when talking about dealing with people who don't always have your best interests in mind. And he started by saying, you got to recognize the difference between those who care about you and those who are trying to hurt you. And then came the analogy. Ready? You need to recognize the difference between people who tell you that you have spinach stuck in your teeth and the people who are just doing it to take you off your game. Ever been in that situation before where someone's just trying to distract you so that you don't perform at a high level, so they point out all the little minutia that will distract you from being at peak? Man, that happens so often, doesn't it? I want to go back to that first segment that I did for you about actually doing the thing you want to be doing and why it's important for you to learn those lessons on your own so that in this way, if you are hired or transfer or do something that allows you to get into that role, you're performing well. And again, a funny message from someone that basically translates into, if you hand a microphone to a bad singer, basically all you're going to do is make them louder. They're no better than what they were before. When you don't know what you're doing, you're just a bad singer. Get out there, make your mistakes on someone else's dime, but don't expect them to pay you a lot. They can do something part-time on the side or be a volunteer for an organization and learn those lessons. But to expect someone to hire you point blank to step into a dramatically new role, especially for those of you who are expensive and say, well, I can't really afford to take less than what I'm making now. Well, great. Just keep doing what you've been doing. That's what's going to happen. No one's going to pay you the big bucks to become a trainee, are they? After all, have you been doing that for other people before? Of course not. A former client came to me yesterday telling me that he wanted a mentor for someone that he knew, and was asked me if I was interested in doing it. And I smiled because a week before, a coach that I know had posted a message in her online group talking with her about a young man who had approached her about becoming his mentor. And at the time that the woman posted the message, my response to her was to say, mentor, free coaching with no obligation to do anything. You see, a lot of what this show has been about is about doing things halfway, not being fully in. And that's really why when you go to someone and say, could you train me in this? I want to do the job and not make any less money, do more money as a matter of fact, but I want to be trained. You know that's not realistic, and you're doing it halfway. When you think about the people with spinach in their, telling about spinach in your teeth, you're in a bind there. That one's not about halfway. But the fact of the matter is, when you ask for a mentor, you're not fully committed, because I can't tell you the number of people who complain to me about times that they've been a mentor for someone, and one conversation later, the person disappears. There's no commitment on your part. And worse than that, you did it on a whim. You did it on a whim. If you really care, if it matters to you, you'll go all in. You'll make the commitment. You'll write the checks out in order to get the results that you say you want. Want to go into a new career? Write the checks out. Go to school. Get training. Do it. Want to basically change your life in some way? Write the checks out. Hire a coach. Get someone to really commit and be involved in your life so that you get that life experience. Just don't do it halfway, because all you have baked into those situations are your excuses. You have the chance to blame others for your decision to go halfway in without commitment, and it's not their fault. It's yours. That's what I've seen over the course of years. People want to build in a safety valve so they can get out of things and then blame others. That's really what a mentor is like for most of you. Get a coach. I'm not saying it should be me. I may not be the right person for you. But the reality is, a mentor, if you do it within your organization, their job is to hold you in place and be a sounding board. How many conversations are you going to have with them? 1? 2? How immersed are they going to be in your life? Not particularly. Get some real help. That's really what you need to do. Get some real help. So that's today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you listen to the show. Just subscribe so you get downloads whenever I release a new episode. Each show is going to be bite-sized morsels of advice just like today's. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope you subscribe. And if you do choose to subscribe, I hope you decide to support the show. There's a link that will take you to anchor.fm where you can make a pledge in support of the show. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in my coaching you, Connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show. I just happen to like knowing that I'm helping some folks. And once we're connected, message me about your interest in coaching. We'll set up a free call. We'll get acquainted, see if it makes sense. I'll be back soon with more. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Take care.